Hello, Mayor, Council, Mr. Nightoff. I'm also here to speak on behalf of the Todo, Pueblo collective about the 2012 police killings. As some of you might be aware, the city of Salinas recently underwent something very similar, which was 3 killings at the hands of the police in the span of only 2 months. As we all know and remember and can see here today, these are events of mass trauma for our communities, no matter what the DA decides. So imagine the shock last Tuesday when, and especially the shock of the families of the police brutality victims, when we discovered an interview with Chief Williams that was published in the pages of Salinas' newspaper, the Monterey Herald, where she congratulated herself on the work done to heal the community, in her words, here in collaboration with the Department of Justice and a group they set up called Voces de la Comunidad. The next day, the VC Star carried a story on the department, or the city rather, settling the Limon case for an undisclosed sum. But where's this healing? The family's demands have been very simple. No justice, no peace, killer cops off our streets. It was repeated constantly in our marches. Well, instead of justice, what we saw was a lot of empty talk and a badge. There's this ongoing spectacle of the peace marches that the chief organized, poorly attended so-called community events. Yeah, the whole community was there. The chief's staff, the police explorers, the senior citizen volunteers in policing who also go to the checkpoints, the Police Activities League, groups directed by law enforcement like Voces de la Comunidad, as well as churches and ministries that are eager with their hands out to get a cut of city and county funds. So that's taxpayer money well spent on healing, right, doctor? As far as the cops involved in the killings, what happened to them? After cooling them off with a paid vacation the department called administrative leave, they took 1 killer cop off our streets, as Terry mentioned, and put him in our schools. That's Pedro Rodriguez, who was involved in Limon and Ramirez killings. He's now the resource officer at Pacifica High. After we marched peacefully last October, the chief announced her intention to retaliate in a Ventura County Star op-ed, and then filed ticky-tack jaywalking charges against Francisco Romero, one of our fellow organizers. We've been fighting these 5 bogus charges since then through the law offices of Jaime Segal Gutierrez, as your city attorney can inform you. And we'll keep at it until the charges are dropped or dismissed, which we expect. The VC Superior Court actually recently ordered the OPD to hand us 40 minutes of video footage, which we're reviewing right now, which were captured by undercover officers at the march. Who was the main officer following us? Senior Officer John Brislinger, who was also the most senior officer at the scene of the crime when Limon and Zepeda were killed. That's just scandalous, to put it mildly, that the officer who was implicated in those deaths was following the families who were protesting his actions. So let's be clear, there's been no healing. Only a good cop, bad cop theater, a routine of community policing, public relations on one hand, and repression on the other. We need an elected independent civilian review board that has the power to hire, fire, and impose disciplinary measures, and we need the killer cops off our streets. Thank you. No justice, no peace.